Look at that smile. That is the face of a man who just sold you a wrecked car but charged you full price for it. They tell you the economy is growing. They say high immigration is the key to prosperity. But here is the truth they are too afraid to put on the evening news. You are getting poorer. It is called the population Ponzi. The government is pumping 500,000 people into the country every single year. That is the entire population of Tasmania, just to keep the total GDP line green. But they are not building enough houses, or roads, or hospitals to put them in. The result is simple. The country gets bigger on paper, but your slice of the pie gets smaller in reality. If your salary is flat, but your rent just went up 20%, you are not crazy. You are being robbed. Today, we are going to show you exactly who is doing the taking. Before anyone tries to label you, let me clarify something. This is not a video blaming immigrants for wanting a better life. This is about the machine that uses them and you as fuel. We need to talk about the GDP illusion. Imagine your family has 2 people, and together you earn $100. Your household GDP is $100. Each of you has $50 to live on. Life is laid back. Now imagine the government shoves 2 more people into your living room. The total household income bumps up to $110. The politicians open the champagne. They tell you the economy grew by 10%. But look at your wallet. $110 divided by 4 people is $27.50. The pie got a tiny bit bigger, but your slice just got cut in half. That is the mathematical reality of Australia today. It is a statistical magic trick designed to hide a recession. They are masking a per capita collapse by simply adding more heads to the count. And why is this happening now? Because of a policy they call Big Australia. There's a quiet plan to push the population to 40 million people. But take a look around your neighborhood. Does it look like the infrastructure is ready for 40 million people? The roads, the schools, the hospitals were designed for 25 million. This is why you feel like you are suffocating. Go ahead, try to catch a train in Melbourne during rush hour, or try to book a GP appointment without waiting a week. That wait time, that stress, that feeling of being packed in like sardines, that is a hidden tax. You are paying for the government's vanity metrics with your quality of life. They get the growth headlines, and you get the headache. To understand the mechanics of this scam, you have to stop thinking of Australia as a country and start thinking of it as a nightclub on a Saturday night. In this scenario, the government is the greedy club owner. His primary KPI, his only goal, is to sell as many tickets as possible. So he throws the doors wide open. Student visas, skilled visas, come on in, the more the merrier. But here's the catch. The owner is too cheap to build more toilets. He refuses to hire more bartenders, and he certainly isn't making the dance floor any bigger. So what is the result? You are inside getting crushed. You cannot move without stepping on someone. The line for the bathroom is an hour long. The air is thick and stale. It takes 45 minutes just to buy a wildly overpriced drink. But at the end of the night, the owner looks at his ledger and screams, "Record revenue!" He got rich selling entry fees while your experience went straight to hell. The club is technically making more money, but it is a miserable place to be. This isn't just bad management, this is a systemic failure known as economic laziness. A healthy economy grows by becoming smarter. You increase productivity, you invent new technology, you produce things the world actually wants. That is the hard way. Australia chose the lazy way. Why bother investing in complex automation or building a robust manufacturing sector when you can just import endless waves of cheap labor to plug the holes? It is the economic equivalent of taking painkillers instead of setting a broken bone. They are addicted to the easy growth numbers because actually fixing the systemic productivity crisis requires effort and courage, 2 things that are currently extinct in Canberra. Instead of innovation, we get stagnation masked by migration. We aren't getting more efficient, we're just getting more crowded. So who is orchestrating this chaotic dinner party? Who actually benefits when you're paying $600 a week for a moldy bedroom? Let's name and shame the hidden villains behind the curtain. First up, the universities. Do not be naive enough to think they're in the business of education. No, they have transformed into massive visa factories. International students are their cash cows, literally keeping the lights on for the entire bloated academic sector. They do not care if the student ends up with a job or a bed to sleep in, as long as the tuition check clears. Then you have the business lobby. You hear them whining in the newspapers every day about a skills shortage. Let me translate that from corporate speak into English. It means we have a shortage of people willing to work for stagnant wages. If there was a genuine shortage of workers, wages would skyrocket. That's the law of supply and demand. But they do not want to pay you more. They want to import desperate people who will work for less. It's wage suppression, plain and simple. And of course, the landlords and property developers. Every time a plane lands, the demand for a roof goes up, but the supply of roofs stays the same. Rents explode, property values climb to the moon. If you owned 3 houses, you're laughing all the way to the bank. If you're a young Australian trying to buy your first home, sorry mate, you're competing against a global market now. The great Australian dream isn't just dying, it is being auctioned off. But here's the sickest twist of the whole scheme. The immigrants themselves are victims too. They're not the enemy. They're being sold a lie. They are promised a paradise, a high-wage career, and a backyard barbecue. Instead, they arrive here to find out their engineering degree is worthless, and they end up riding an e-bike delivering lukewarm burgers for Uber Eats while sleeping in a bunk bed shared with 3 strangers. Everyone, the locals and the newcomers, is being squeezed to juice the numbers for the bureaucrats in Canberra. The lucky country is running out of luck. We are falling into a trap, a high-cost, low-productivity trap. We are fast becoming a nation of rent-seekers and rock diggers. We do not make things anymore. We just service the people who are arriving to service the people who arrived last year. It's a pyramid scheme of services. So, how do you survive when the game is rigged against you? Rule number 1, abandon the hope that your salary alone will save you. Inflation is not a bug in this system, it's a feature. When you have 500,000 new people every year desperate for work, your boss has absolutely no incentive to give you a raise. You are replaceable.
Rule number 2, you must own the inflation hedge, real estate, global stocks, anything scarce. Because while the value of your labor is being diluted by oversupply, the value of scarce assets is being pumped by demand. It is a massive transfer of wealth from the workers to the asset owners. You need to be an owner. Rule number 3, audit your financial engine. Look at your superannuation fund right now. Most Australians are unknowingly invested heavily in local companies that are barely growing. If your retirement money is stuck in the Australian market, you are betting your old age on a stagnant economy. Move that capital. Look at the S&P 500. Look at global markets. Don't let your wealth stagnate in a pond that is draining. And rule number 4, build a moat. Build a defensive wall around your career. If your job is transactional, if it is just data entry or basic administration, that job is gone. It belongs to the lowest bidder now. You need skills that require deep cultural context, strategy, or complex human relationships. You have to be harder to replace because the line of people waiting to take your seat is getting longer every single day. Edward Abbey once famously said, "Growth for the sake of growth is the ideology of the cancer cell." That is exactly what we are seeing unfold. We are mutating from a nation obsessed with quality of life to a nation obsessed with quantity of GDP. We are trading the very things that made this country the envy of the world, the open space, the laid-back attitude, the fair go, for a slightly higher number on a spreadsheet in Canberra. They call it economic resilience. I call it vandalism. It is the destruction of a lifestyle to service a debt model. So, take this as your final warning. Do not let the government gaslight you with aggregate data. When they say the country is getting richer, they mean the country is getting richer, not you. You are experiencing a recession per capita. That is the only metric that matters when you open your fridge or pay your rent. The boat is getting heavier and the water is rising.
If you want to understand the mechanics of the machine that is eating your future and how to stop it from eating your savings, hit that subscribe button. We are going to keep digging where the mainstream media refuses to look. Do not just survive the population Ponzi, outsmart it. I am the cynical insider. See you, mates.